business. Very good. Epoxy paper. Interesting. AIDEN?
Yes, young Benjamin.
Did you know, young squire, that according to the Telegraph, there are two articles. One of them is depicting the fact that student loans have been cut, and the other correlates that information by saying students are going without food because they have to meet the cost of university.
You don't say. So what does this mean, young Benjamin?
It means, young AIDEN, that students these days are the most unhealthiest they have ever been, due to the fact that they cannot afford the good food because of the student loan cuts. I believe we should investigate further.
I know just the lads for the job, and they happen to look just like us. AIDEN! Ben!
Yes?
Go be a dear and investigate today's student nutrition for us.
Yes,
sir! Okay, so as you've just heard in there, me and Ben have been given the task of investigating student nutrition. So I'm going to go to town to do my own investigation, whilst Ben goes to speak to an expert.
Yes, I'm on my way to speak to an expert about nutrition and how it can truly affect us. I managed to get a few words with HCPC registered dietitian Stacey Jones and her take on the side effects of bad eating. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for joining us on such short notice, Stacey. So tell us, what is the result of bad nutrition?
So poor diet can increase your risk of developing diet-related diseases and ill health such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease and some cancers.
And why do you think people have bad nutrition?
I think it can be down to a number of reasons. Some of those reasons might be down to being on a budget, having poor cooking skills, maybe a lack of knowledge of how to cook foods from scratch. Sometimes just a lack of awareness of healthy eating and what is a healthy diet. Lack of availability of healthy food, maybe the time taken to cook and prepare healthy foods. There's a lot of convenience foods, fast foods out there, so it is easy to go for the easy options, which tend to be higher in fat and sugar and salt.
Okay, so what exactly should we be putting in our bodies?
So ideally, we're after a balance of nutrition. So having things in moderation, ideally going for plenty of fruit and vegetables in your diet, a range of starchy carbohydrates and going for whole meal varieties where possible. Having moderate amounts of protein foods, whether that's meat, fish, eggs, cheese, and having dairy foods as well, such as milk, yoghurt, cheeses. And trying to cut down on foods that are high in fat and sugar and salt. So they tend to be your processed foods, things like pastries, chocolate, sweets, fizzy drinks, things like that.
Okay, so a lot of stuff there. But why do you think it is that students have such bad nutrition?
I think possibly it comes down to maybe being on a budget, maybe having a lack of facilities to cook from scratch, the convenience and also sometimes peer pressure, so having, the social aspect of eating as well.
For more information about nutrition and what we should be putting in our bodies, please go check out the BDA website. Now, I've learned a lot from Stacey here, but let's find out what AIDEN is up to.
I hope Ben's interview is going good, but I've come to a popular student restaurant to go and get some lunch. Right, so I've just been there now to go and get my lunch. We weren't allowed to film in there, and for legal reasons I can't tell you what we got, but if I show you, you can see yourself, that's clearly a Big Mac. So I'm going to go now to a local supermarket to see if I can get myself a healthier alternative for around about the same price. Right, so first things first, burgers need mince, and I think that's over here, so we go for that first. Right, so we've got this one here for £2.50, this is 5% fat, but I reckon you might only get 2 burgers out of that. So instead we're going to go £10, 10p more for this one, I think you get a bit more out of that. Okay, so here's the buns, we're going for the wholemeal ones for the healthier option. And here's the cheese. Right, so I'm going to quickly pay for this and then we're going to head back home. Oh, you alright, Ben?
Hey, alright, mate. Let me quickly just pause this real quick.
Yeah, no worries. How was your day then?
Yeah, it was really good, I went to go speak to a dietitian. Yeah. Stacey Jones, really nice lady. She was basically telling me about all the foods and nutrients we need to put into our body, But more importantly, she told me about all the things that will happen if we have bad nutrition, such as cancers, acne, just bad psychological errors. It's crazy to think about. And think that students have bad nutrition according to like all the newspapers these days. So to think that they're going through all this stuff is just mental.
That sounds pretty serious.
It's pretty serious. I was expecting quite a lot of conversation with it, but it was actually quite good. Anyway, enough of that. How was your day?
So I went into town. I went to McDonald's.
McDonald's,
okay. Yeah, and typical student meal sort of thing.
Of course, yeah.
I went to a supermarket as well, and I've got myself some ingredients to see if I can make something a little bit healthier.
Okay.
For about the same price, which I'm actually going to go and do in a minute.
Oh, okay. I look forward to them.
Yeah. Where are the other two though?
I don't know. They're never in the same room at the same time as us, are they?
No.
But yeah, you better get off those burgers. I'm going to try and look at the other Ben and Aiden, and we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, of course. All right, let's go. So you can see here we've got our ingredients. I've got my lean mince here, I've got my wholemeal rolls, and the cheese is a bit of an indulgence, but you know, burgers have cheese. So let's see how many burgers we can make out of all this, and I will see you lot in a few. Okay, so I've just finished cooking now. I've got the burger that I made and the Big Mac, but the best part of this is I have 6 more of these ones for just £1 more than the Big Mac. So I think that's a pretty good investigation, some pretty good findings. So what I'm going to go do now is going to go find Ben and correlate what we've investigated today.
So in conclusion, me and Aiden have been all over the place. I went to go speak to a dietitian myself, Miss Stacey Jones, and I learned about everything that should be going into the body, and more importantly, what shouldn't be.
And to back this up, I've been to a fast food restaurant and a supermarket to try and buy alternatives for each one, and I think that it is perfectly possible, alright, a bit tricky maybe sometimes, but to eat healthy on a budget.
It does make you go into question though, because according to newspapers we read led to this actual entire investigation, we did find that students, and including Stacey even said it as well, that it is down to potential availability and laziness of students. Because as you said, there are definitely avenues there for students to go find healthier food.
Yes, there's no denying that what we did, it takes a bit more effort to actually go out and cook your own food. So it is understandably easier to go out, but if you're conscious about what you eat, it is possible to get through.
Especially with the burgers you created yourself, they're much leaner, better carbs, better for your entire body in general.
Exactly, and they didn't taste too bad either.
No, they did. They tasted pretty good.
Alright.
But yeah, that sums up today our entire story about you can eat on a budget healthily as a student. So all those newspapers, let's be honest, not quite right, but that's where we stand. And to end us out, we have Posh Ben and Aiden leaving some fine, wise words. And that concludes today's episode that we like to call More Than a Pinch of Salt.
Now, hopefully in conclusion you've all learned that it is possible to eat healthy and cheaper than McDonald's.
And as we have learned from the investigation done by Aiden and Ben today, we should all be eating healthier and be taking care of what we go to the shops and buy for the costs. Because clearly, as Aiden has portrayed, you can buy more for your buck.
You can indeed, so remember, check the price labels and eat healthy.
Eat healthy. I am Ben Masters.
I'm Aiden Krista.
And we'll see you next time.
I'm going to go back to reading my paper.
Business.